completely removed both sides. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and plug these little holes up just because I don't want them there. Grind it down smooth, and then we will continue mounting these rear brackets. Got that plugged up good enough. Just gonna go ahead and spray it. But before I do any of that, I have to get these bump stops out of my way. Probably gonna have to cut more of this. I think I've mentioned that before for the coilover setup, but I will worry about cutting that out when I actually have it. But that's not gonna require any welding, so there's no reason for me to really worry about that. I can do my little spray paint with everything kind of in here, but this does have to come out. Pretty sure. I'm removing it either way. One bloody knuckle later, and it's out. Rough idea of where the pinch welds are that I saw, where the little welds, spot welds are. Right there. Got the two over here, which line up roughly like that. And then two down at the bottom, somewhere like that. Gives you a rough idea. I'm gonna clean this up and do the same thing on the other side. I'll be filling these same way I did underneath here, which is not perfect, but good enough. This side broke off so much easier. On the other side, I had my step-up bit break off in one of these. Really big pain, so same deal. I'll plug these holes, spray paint everything, call it good. All done with this side. Holes are welded. I know they're ugly, and I'm okay with that. Over here, without like just taking the Dremel in there, I don't have a way of getting those smooth, and you're never gonna see it. Next thing, got to figure out how I'm actually gonna permanently mount this. Two screws got to go up, and then you got to mount the two screws on the side. Now there's a couple ways of doing this. You can either take this out, put another nut in the proper place, and weld it to the frame, or you can weld on more to the bracket and reutilize this hole in the body that's already welded in from the factory. I think I'm gonna go that route, and then just do the top two bolts and call it a day. Went to Home Depot, bought this flat piece of steel, and then I cut out two of these guys in order to fill that bracket. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and weld it where I need it to be, and I'll have to drill the other hole. So, see if I can make it happy. What I went ahead and did is marked vertically down here about center, and then horizontally down here about center. I'll put one bolt in, I'll get it sitting exactly where I want, and then transfer this line over to my bracket. When I'm done, it should look a little something like that. Came out pretty good. The hole isn't dead center, doesn't have to be. None of this stuff is perfect from the factory anyways. I can just clean this up and repaint it. Do the same thing on the other side. Then we got brackets that are almost done being mounted after these holes are done, which I need hardware for. So, another day. And then this rear end is almost ready to actually permanently be sitting in the car, which is really cool. I'm really freaking excited. Really excited. I don't know if I said this, but I'm really excited. I'm starting over on the driver's side of the car now, and I just want to note that you don't have to do all of this, what I'm doing, cut out any of that. Maximum Motorsports makes a kit for the hand hard bar, and basically you drill this top hole out bigger than the bottom, but then you drop a sleeve down in here, and I believe a washer, and it makes this more rigid. For most applications, that is more than enough. I just want to go the extra little bit. Mind the booger welds, but got it all boxed in. I'm pretty happy about that. As ugly as it is, you're never gonna see it. Still teaching myself how to weld. My buddy Liam came over, AKA Importzilla. He came over and helped me so that I could lay down at least something a little bit nicer. I appreciate that a lot. And now I just have to let it cool and then paint it. This bracket is done. Really stoked about that. Also, while he was over here, He helped me throw in these brackets real quick. And that's his weld. Obviously I didn't clean it up because I don't have gas. So I've been doing this all with just flux core on my MIG welder. So it spits a little bit, but that's okay. Either way, got some progress. Super happy about that. And now I can not have to worry about this ripping out of the car ever. And then I got to do the same thing to this. But I think I'm gonna leave that for the person who does the cage. I still don't trust myself yet. Also, while I was messing around, patched these two little holes up. Still had to grind the boogers off of this one, but now there's no holes. Happy about that. Gonna do the same thing to the driver's side and keep the project going. Off camera, I went ahead and I put this bracket in. The reason the top hole on this T-fitting is capped off is because I don't have any brake lines. So next step, I'm gonna throw the IRS back in and then see if I can mock up the brake lines that I have from the Maximum Motorsports IRS Swap kit for this. See if I can get it into the car, and then we're one step closer to having the IRS more or less permanently in the car. But before we throw the IRS back in, gotta paint these guys. Technically, I'm done with the hardest part of the swap for fabricating everything. Got my bracket in for the IRS swap brake lines, hard brake lines. Got this in permanently, and then it's time to put the rear end in. I'll go ahead and time lapse this. I am gonna have to pull this out to replace these sway bar bushings. I didn't realize that they were rubber. Also, the one on the other side is starting to rot. So I'll replace those. Went ahead and ordered them. I didn't build this rear end, kind of dealing with it as I go. But as far as learning how to do the swap, it's technically completed. That's just a little thing for myself. I was having trouble getting this rear end in that night. I just decided to take a break and come at it a different day off camera. So it's one of those things, if you're ever having issues getting something in, sometimes the best course of action is to just take a break. Now, got it in the car. No springs though, but I think I'm gonna take it back out. I think we're doing the hardtail conversion. I've pretty much decided to jump full in on it. I'll take a second, I'll show you why. I just have to figure out a decent way to show it on camera. Right now I have the car where the tire is just barely touching the floor. What I want you to pay attention to is the bubble here. It doesn't really matter where it's at, just look at how much it moves, how much the car moves down before that bubble actually changes with the camber curve itself. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it pretty slowly. Get a little bit of positive. And now it really starts to get any negative camber. But you can see that doesn't really happen until the car is so low that it's on the tire. I'm not really happy with that camber curve. The way to fix that is to cut off here and raise this rear end up so that I'm actually basically starting with it like the suspension is compressed more. I think that's the best course of action for what I want. Is it necessary? No, not even a little bit. But I don't think I'll be happy unless I do it, so. All right guys, thank you for watching. I don't know if this is gonna be where I should end this video, but I'm gonna talk to someone named Mike who has more information on doing the hardtail conversion than I could even dream of, and I'll see if it's actually the right course of action. Is this the most ideal way to end it? Because it seems like this should be mostly a project complete. Probably not. It's a part of building cars. I did technically complete an IRS swap. It's just not everything that I want. Getting the IRS in the car is half of the battle. It's just now about seeing how to make it even better. None of these cars are, race cars when you buy them. You're just slowly but surely turning it into one. And I hope for anyone actually interested in doing this swap, you can see that there is potentially a lot more work in it to get it to what you might think it is than most people actually say. For the street, it's fine. You don't really need the camber curve for the street. For the track, probably, if you really want it. I just happen to really want it. So, if you like the video, go ahead and leave a like, comment. If you have any questions, anything that you want to know, any recommendations, any advice on this, feel free to let me know. Follow me on Instagram, all that jazz. And most importantly, thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.